nice, huh? Pretty cool. Now the fun part is actually getting back up that. The last time I did it, I tried it in 2-wheel drive and I got about halfway and both back wheels started spinning. I put it in 4-wheel drive and tried again, but keeping it more left, and I just walked right up it. As long as there's no cars coming, I'll maybe throw a little show on for you guys. So I figured for new subscribers I would make a little video on this truck. Over the past few years I've done a lot to it. As you can tell, it's not stock. So this is my 1982 F150. Started out as a 2-wheel drive automatic 302 pickup. Sometime after it was purchased, someone put a 351 in and a C6 from a, I think it was an F250. Then I got the 351 with the C6. So then I got it back in 2012. I messed around with it, tried to make it go fast-ish, faster, as in get out of its own way fast. And after a while I got tired of messing with the 351. It was getting terrible fuel economy. I mean, you're just cruising along in town, 45 miles an hour, not really light throttle, and it's like 10 mpg, like horrible. So I decided to look at my options for an engine. What I wanted was an engine with the power to weight and mpg ratio. I wanted it to be decent power, and I wanted it to be reliable. I wanted it to be not super heavy, i.e. not put a 12 valve in it. And then I wanted fuel economy, and so that's why I went with the 4BT. And so there's a lot of videos on the 4BT swap, as well as some different transmission setups. I started out with the MP435 when I did the Cummins swap, and then I went to now an M50D, and I actually have a lead on a potential small block ZF5 for this. I just got to see how money goes when I get my taxes back, but I have a friend who's got a ZF5 for sale, and I've been talking to him about it, and I might do it. I have nothing wrong with this transmission. The only thing that I desire out of a ZF5 is the granny first and reverse and slightly taller 5th gear, but that's for another time. So this truck was 2-wheel drive. Before I put the 4-wheel drive axle in, I swapped over to an M50D R2, which a friend of mine rebuilt. I also have a video on that. I'll be sure to put the link down in the description for that. And then the same friend actually had an extra transfer case, manual shift transfer case, that would match that transmission. He gave that to me in trade for a 8.8 axle, which I ended up getting back and sending to Central Oregon Shenanigans. Part of the swap, I did the 5-speed swap, got the transfer case and everything in, shortened rear drive line, new U-joints, all that good stuff. And then, towards the end of the year, that same year, did the 5-speed swap, put the solid axle in. I saw an ad on Craigslist for a Dana 44 and Ford 9-inch. It was a matching set, 350 gears, And the axle had everything but the radius arms, which was fine because I was getting my own set, or James Duff set. It was a complete axle, steering and everything, so I had stuff to work with and figure out what parts work best together. But it's got 350 gears. It matches the 350 gears in the back of the truck. I also have 9 inches as well. That's factory to this truck. Worked a lot of overtime, but I got these really nice James Duff long arms. And for some of the keen viewers, yes, I know those brackets are in backwards. I did that on purpose. I used, let me show you the drive shaft on this. Is from a 1990. It's actually from the same truck that I got my transmission from. It's a little overextended, so I would like to actually get it lengthened at one point. I did not want to go super high on the lift. People were pushing me to do like a 6-inch lift or some shit. Like, I really don't want to go that high. The spring buckets I put in here are James Duff coil spring buckets, and they actually sit 2 inches lower than factory. And so put those in, and then I was able to use stock height 78 F150 / Bronco springs, and then a combination of the James Duff buckets. I got about 4.5 to 5 inches of lift, which I think is good. I like it. It's not super tall, and it's just right. I've got a 5.5-inch lift back here. Got a 2-inch add-a-leaf and a 3.5-inch block. Later down the road, I'd like to tear all that out and put new hangers in and do the 6-inch Superflex springs. And then I'll probably do new shocks. I'm still running my old shocks from when I was 2-wheel drive. I kind of contradict myself with the 6-inch lift, but I keep it just under, because 6-inch lift springs with these buckets end up being about 8 inches. The toe link is for a 78 Bronco or F150, and then the upper link is a conversion link from Jeff's Bronco Graveyard. However, I tested it out and it seems like the Dana 60 F350 links work as well. The track bar is a James Duff track bar, and I'm using the James Duff upper mount, which I really don't like because I had to partially weld it in, and then you can see I have very little clearance there, and then on top of that I'm limited on my up travel, and it's actually hit a couple times. There's about, what, 4 inches of travel there, which is not bad, but I have lots of travel over here. My goal is to actually get rid of that upper bracket and put in a rough stuff bracket, move it forward a little bit more, and then have a Heim joint in there, and then that way I'll have a lot of up travel. And then I'm going to put tall bump stops in, that way I can land this thing and not have suspension components crash into each other. Pretty nicely to 35s, although I've only had these on here for about a month or two. BF Goodrich all-terrain KO2. I had the KO ones and 31s, but decided to get 35s. I was sort of not wanting to do 35s actually, but then, you know, now that I've seen them in person and get them on this truck and I can kind of see how it looks, I really like the look. I like the ride and the grip. So, yeah, I think 33s would have looked stupid. I almost got another set of 31s, but I wanted to change the look of this truck. This is the truck. You'll be seeing more. It's a coloring book that's not finished. I got bumper stuff to do. And lighting. I used to have a light bar in here, but I'm gonna do something different. I am looking for a bed bar to go back here. And then I'm gonna get 4 6-inch off-road lights that look like old school KCs, but I'm gonna have an LED element in it. And then, not sure what I'm gonna do for a grill. I was thinking about doing a billet grill, but I see a lot of that. Just want to keep the truck different, you know? I don't want to be doing everything the same way that everybody else does. Let's roll. My feet are getting cold, my face is cold, my hands are cold, and you guys are probably done listening to me blab. So let's see if we can make it up that hill.